And what do you want to accomplish
We've got a
this
number
year?
I started for the first time in the history of Congress the pre-K caucus. We're doing a lot with that. I've got an op-ed that we're hoping to get in a bunch of newspapers around the country supporting pre-K. With James,
This pre-K is really big for you.
It is. Yeah. When you learn about the potential and what it can do. And, of course, we're also working a lot with firemen. We have a bill that came out of our office after a conversation I had with Brian McQueen, the past chief from Whitesboro, who is a cancer survivor. What you know about firemen is that their rate of cancer is 60% above the national average. And
you got to be thinking they're walking into buildings with
exactly
with poison.
We estimate. I mean, there's about 80,000 or 84,000 chemicals today that didn't exist 40 years ago, and they're being exposed to them. So the Center for Disease Control will start this register. We'll be able to track some of this, do some preventative things, have developed protocols to protect these men and women. And so that's something we've done, and it's caught fire around the country. We've been endorsed. A number of other members of Congress and senators, Chuck has and Kirsten has supported this. So it's a good thing, and a lot of other things like that.
7360186 if you want to pipe in with a question with the congressman. Nancy is on in Utica. Nancy, go ahead. You're on with Congressman Richard Hanna.
Hi. Good morning.
Good morning. Go ahead.
Thank you for taking my call. I just want to ask, how many constituent letters has the congressman answered? Have you, Mr. Hanna, answered personally yourself this last year?
Let me tell you this. All of them. I don't type out everything. We get a lot of letters, but I've written almost, I'm not sure exactly, but about 200,000. And I give out my phone number on the radio. It's 315-794-9602. I try to get back to everybody, but it's a big district. There's 720,000 people, but I read what we write. I do something in Congress that nobody does the same. Every time I vote on a bill, our office and me, we write a detailed explanation. We're at 854. Nobody does that. If you call my office, you will hear back virtually 100% within 48 hours. That's our goal. And I think we've maintained that for some time. So do I write every letter personally? Of course not.
Right.
But do I know what we say and where we stand? Absolutely. That's part of the job.
Is that, Nancy, does that satisfy you?
No. I want to know, do you actually read each letter?
No, I do not. I mean, it would be impossible.
Yourself?
We get 1,000 letters a week, and I'm all over this very large district, which incidentally runs from Canada to Pennsylvania. And so, no, I don't. But my staff is we have 16 people in our staff. They're in constant contact with me. And a lot of the letters are generic responses because they're about the same subject. But if you were to call me and ask me to call you back, I do. I mean, I think.
Can I get your number again, please, Congressman?
315-794-9602.
Thank you very much.
All right,
welcome.
Nancy.
Thank you.
Lou is standing by. 7360186 is the phone number. Lou, you're on with Congressman Richard Hanna.
Hey, good morning. So, Congressman, in regards to the issue of the two parties not working together in Washington, isn't it fair to say that it's really one party that has refused to step across the line? We know there was a famous meeting on Obama's first inaugural day by 6 top Republicans in the House, 6 top Republicans in the Senate, along with Newt Gingrich and other leading.
I know where you're going, and I know the statement from Mitch McConnell.
Well, I'm not even going to mention Mitch. I'm just talking about this meeting where they decided they were not going to work with Obama. Newt Gingrich admits to this. Their decision was how to handle Obama in the next 4 years was to stop every possible success that he could have, not reach across the aisle. Now, as far as shutting down the government, were the Democrats have any responsibility for shutting down the government, or is it the Tea Party faction, which has refused to even work with moderate Republicans like you.
All right,
I'm proud of
Yeah, let me
that.
answer the question, though. But first of all, I was one of 2 members who did not support the government shutdown. That's out of
Two Republican members.
right, 2 Republican members. So
Let him
to answer
respond,
your question
Slow.
piecemeal, of course, the Democrats had nothing to do with the government shutdown. That was led. People don't know this. We have to be there, but by Ted Cruz. So that's one of the reasons I would never support Ted Cruz or Donald Trump. But that's me, and I'm just one voter. But I will say this: there are agendas so severe on both sides of the aisle that compromise is missing everywhere. What you're saying is true because the Republicans are in the majority, but there is no less intractability on the Democratic side on their issues. I mean, we have an $18 trillion debt that's growing, and it's going to it'll go up again next year, and maybe the year after that, and after that. By 2020, it'll consume our national debt and interest is about over 40% of our budget, right? It'll consume 100% of our budget in the very near future. So what you see, though, is a Democratic side who doesn't want to cut anything. There is nothing they want to talk about other than the redistribution. And personally, I believe in earned success. I believe that enabling people through all these government programs that don't have a way out. I mean, it's good to help people. We're a compassionate society, but we need a plan that doesn't make people dependent on government.
Right.
And on the other side, I'm not going to sit here and argue with you. I've seen such severity from both sides that.
What do you want to cut that the Democrats don't want to cut?
I beg your pardon?
Give me some real examples.
What do you want to cut that the Democrats don't want to cut?
Democrats are refusing to cut.
They don't want to talk about anything, so pick something, anything. I mean, nobody wants to cut defense, right? So we pass a defense bill, but that's about what we're able to get done. Now look at for example, the highway bill. Everybody wants to, and we have one, and I'm on that committee. I'm a senior member in New York State. I've been there 5.5 years. We only recently got a long-term highway bill. That's always been pro forma to get a highway bill done because of all the things you know about. But we failed to do that until recently. We had 36 extensions or so. One of the things they don't want to do is talk about raising the gas tax or finding a way to find money to fund our failing infrastructure, which incidentally costs more to fix next year than it will this year.
Are you make one comment, Lou, and then I got to move on. I got a bunch of people wanting to get on here.
Well, the comment, I mean, what can I say? I don't agree with the fact that the Democrats are being...
Do you think it's all one-sided?
No, I'm not suggesting you're wrong. What I'm saying is everybody's involved in this problem.
Right.
Nobody's just to blame.
It's not just the Republicans.
It's not just the Republicans. It's not just the Democrats. I'll tell you what it really is. It's gerrymandering. We have districts in this country that you can't lose unless you move further to the left. As long as you move further to the right and further to the left, you got a job.
Yeah.
And when you take career politicians whose goal in life is to stay there and they sell their country out to do that, that's what's wrong. We need term limits, and we need people to show up in primaries who are reasonable people from both parties. We shouldn't be electing people to a seat that normally in a presidential year, 300,000 people will show up in this next election from this district, something like that, from both parties. But yet 15 or 20,000, 30,000
in the primary
will select that person in the primary.
Right.
The primaries have become the new general election.
All right. Lou, I got to let you go. Rick, you're on the radio with Congressman Hanna.
Hi.
Hi.
This is Rick from Westmoreland. I would like to personally thank the congressman for his help. My wife became disabled, and his office, especially Stephanie Leader, were very instrumental in helping us to get Social Security disability for my wife. And I want to thank him and his staff for everything they did.
All right, Rick.
That's kind of you to say. I will tell you this. As much as I hate being away from my wife and kids and my little farm in upstate New York, every time I can hear from somebody like you, it makes me realize that it's been worth it for me, and I don't want to diminish the job, but it is the ability to help people one at a time. With the federal government is a mess, and most of them really don't want to take your call, let alone help you. But we sit down, and the goal of my office has never been to be successful. I mean, that's what we want, but it's to carry a person's problem as far as we can, no matter what we do, to be either successful, hopefully, or not. So they feel like they've had a just and fair outcome and treatment by our office. And that's what's missing in government. I mean, take Claudia. She's never had a bill passed that I know of.
Right.
If all you are is an obstructionist and all you'll do is pander to a few people you think can get you through a primary, how is that? What is it? Why is that about me? You know, why is it about her or any other politician in this country? It's a huge disappointment for me to see people who have such a wonderful opportunity to make a mark in life and stand for something, and then just march in line with the party.
Right. Chuck in Camden.
Which incidentally is why I'm in trouble a lot.
Which is you have not taken, some would say, I've heard them criticize you and say you've taken the easy path. It's just, to me, I think it's the opposite.
You know, being different is hard.
It is not
being
easy.
Being the same is easy.
Chuck in Camden, you're on with the congressman.
Actually, I'm not in Camden yet. I'm on the way.
Okay, on the way to Camden.
Chuck from Ilion.
All right, hey, Chuck.
Two points. Number one is, Richard, no disrespect, I wrote an unsolicited letter in your favor before, but you're very Democrat-like, and I'll just leave it at that, and that's why Lou probably should really like you. Number two is the Constitution gives the House of Representatives all authority over spending. All spending must originate in the House. So when the budget is passed, constitutionally allowed by the House of Representatives, and the president vetoes it. So therefore, the government is shut down. Why do Republicans take the blame and not defend themselves and explain to people that it's not our fault? The president vetoed it.
That's just not true. I mean, it's true that the president vetoed it, but let me ask you this. If you filled a bill up with things that were absolutely repugnant to the other side, that you knew would never pass, like defunding Obamacare, which was part of that, don't be surprised if you have your bill vetoed. My point is, again, that yes, you're right. The House has control over spending, but the desire to have 100% of what you want, pack it into every bill, and I voted against Obamacare some 60 times, when you know that's not going to happen, is stupid. It simply doesn't make sense. So we could easily get a budget passed if we didn't load it with things that we know in advance the president said it vetoed. So we invite it. So I'm not going to argue with what you're saying. You're right. The House does that, and the president vetoes it. But we knew damn well that's what was going to happen.
All right. Alan in Colebrook, then I got to take a break. You're on the radio. Good morning, Alan.
Yes, I'd like to thank you, Congressman. In 2012, you helped straighten out my SS problem. But my question is, now in 2016, my district is 21. My congressman is out of Watertown. And I was wondering what's going on with that.
Well, I know Elise Stefanik. She's a very nice lady, very bright, well-liked. I think she'll be successful, and I think she deserves to be successful.
It's more of this redistricting, though.
I lost.
Gerrymandering.
I lost you.
Yeah.
And, well, we go almost to Old Forge now, but not quite. And it's the districts have changed. So, thanks. Sorry to lose you.
I talked to somebody the other day, though, that was talking about you and has followed your career through Congress. And the one thing he said is that it's about your votes, but it's more so and so important on constituency, on how you take care of the problems that your constituents have. And I'm not sure there's somebody that's been more open than with the cell phone number, writing on every bill.
We get back to people. I mean, the goal is this is public service.
Yeah.
Jefferson designed this job for people like you and me and anybody listening to go do it and go home. But we get career politicians who, frankly, a lot of them are unemployable otherwise. I don't know what these people be doing, what they'd be doing if they weren't working for the government. And then you get people look, Claudia, who votes against her own district, and people love her for it.
All right, we're bringing
voting against the nano
you
center.
mentioned Claudia.
How in the hell do you justify that?
Against Nano. I'm going to come back and we'll talk about Claudia. We'll talk about Wells and Phillips and this upcoming Republican primary. When we come back, Luke in Frankfurt, stand by. We'll get to you 2 minutes away on WIBX.